Hey guys, what's up? It's Tion here back again with another challenge video. Last time I tried to beat Pokemon FireRed with only a Ditto, and that run was extremely difficult to do. So moving on to a slightly easier run, today we figure out, can you beat Pokemon FireRed with only a Meowth? Taking a look at Meowth's stats, the only thing worth noting is its speed all the way at 90. That means once we're high enough level, there's no way we're gonna get outsped. Meowth also has 5 more attack than special attack. Not much of a difference, but we're gonna go with physical moves for this run. Taking a look at Meowth's learn set, it learns Bite at level 10. Due to our high speed, we might keep Bite around just for the 10% flinch chance. We also learn Slash at level 40, which is a fantastic high crit chance move. I don't think we'll need to use many HM/TM moves, but Meowth can learn a ton just in case. Type coverage won't be an issue. Now it's time for the rules of this run. Rule number 1 is no using other Pokemon in battle besides Meowth. HM Pokemon will be caught in order to complete the game, but they will not be used in battle. Rule number 2 is no using items in battle. Held items are allowed. Rule number 3, besides getting Meowth in the beginning, there will be no other hacking or cheating of any kind. With the rules explained, let's go ahead and get right into the run. In this run, we replace Squirtle for Meowth. We do this so our rival has Charizard, and Charizard generally gives us the hardest challenge, and I'm up for a hard challenge. Once we receive our Meowth, we have to give our Meowth a nickname, and of course, I am awful at giving nicknames, but luckily I was live streaming at the time, and somebody gave me the fantastic name Meow2, because Mewtwo. The first rival battle happens, and we easily end up winning using Scratch. After seeing how much damage Scratch did to Charmander, we're actually Adamant Nature, which is plus attack minus special attack. We also have the ability Pickup, which picks up items, which I'm sure you guys all know. After grinding to level 10, I decided to go take on the optional rival battle. I know that Scratch is going to do more damage than Bite. Bite has a 10% flinch chance though, so I end up using that a lot, just because making them lose a turn is more crucial than us doing a little bit more damage. After that easy victory, next up is Brock. Brock's Pokemon has extremely high defense, but not high special defense, so for this battle we're going to be using Bite. Geodude goes down in only 2 bites, and next up is Onyx. Bite actually ends up doing a lot of damage. He misses his first Rock Tomb, which definitely ends up helping us, but he goes down in only a few more bites, and just like that we get the Boulder Badge. Well, that was one of the easiest Brock fights I've ever had. Next up is Mount Moon. In Mount Moon, we had to pick between the 2 fossils, and I end up picking the Helix fossil. I know if I didn't tell you guys, you'd end up asking anyway. And you know what? You should. It's good for the YouTube algorithm. Next up is Misty. Staryu is super easy to take down with Payday, but Starmie was always the issue. We end up getting a critical bite, doing a ton of damage there. Since we do get constantly confused and hurt ourselves in confusion, this run really wasn't looking too good. But luckily we get 2 flinches and a roll and take out Starmie, and that is exactly why I keep Bite on my moveset. Now that Misty's out of the way, next up is our rival. In case you guys haven't noticed, I've been using Payday instead of Scratch. Payday and Scratch do the same amount of damage, but Payday makes you rich and Scratch doesn't. We just end up using Payday a lot, and once Pidgeotto is out of the way, the rest of his team is an absolute breeze. Rattata goes down to 1 Payday, Charmander goes down in 2 Paydays, and then next up is Abra, who just goes down to 1 super effective Bite. Once we make our way to Bill's house, we help him with this stupid experiment, and he gives us the SS ticket so we can go into the SS Ann. We end up finding a Rocket member who stole from somebody, and just end up stealing from him, taking the TM for ourselves. Now we have to fight our rival once again on the SS Ann. Once again, we just end up using Payday. Payday is not a really strong move, but at this point we're at level 31 and we have a huge level advantage over anyone that we face. We accidentally kill our rival's Raticate in only 2 Paydays, and next up is Kadabra. He goes down to 1 Payday, and last up is Charmeleon. Payday does an okay amount of damage, but we just end up going for Bite here just to get a lucky flinch. We don't end up getting it, but we end up beating our rival anyway. We then go get the HM cut from the captain and then go get our HM slave. We just cannot simply go a run without getting our boy Chiding. Literally, like we can't. We have to use this thing so it can fly us around and use the cut. It's like a 2-in-1, 2-for-1 deal. Now that we have cut, we end up accessing Lieutenant Surge's gym. Voltorb goes down in only 2 Paydays and Pikachu goes down in 1. The only problem in this run was this Raichu. Raichu was an absolute pain to deal with. Between getting paralyzed every turn and then Raichu spamming double team, we just ended up always getting fully paralyzed or missing. After many attempts, I just end up going for Screech. Screech lowers his defense by 2 stages, making our Payday do a lot more damage. Luckily for us though, we end up getting the critical hit with Payday, taking it out. With the Thunder Badge in hand, now it's time for Rock Tunnel, and I hate Rock Tunnel so much. It almost took an hour getting out of Rock Tunnel, and it's an hour too long, honestly. Next, we're gonna make our way to the Rocket Hideout. Giovanni actually took a lot of attempts. His Kangaskhan always caused an issue for us. His Onyx and Rhydon was never the issue. Bite took them out very easily and actually did a lot of damage, surprisingly. The only reason we won this battle is because of the game's bad AI. Instead of attacking us this turn, it ends up going for Tail Whip instead, giving us the chance to get a critical Payday, taking Kangaskhan out. After Giovanni runs away, we pick up the Sylph Scope and then go to the Lost Tower. But first, we do have to take on Erica. I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot about Erica. Erica actually took a lot of attempts. Meowth's special defense is not the best, and every single time we got paralyzed, we just end up getting haxed out until we lost. Eventually, we got the run where Victory Bell misses its stun spore, and Vileplume has to do it itself. That gives us another opportunity to use Slash, and it ends up easily defeating Erica. Back to the Lost Tower, we level all the way up to level 44. At level 40, we learn Slash, and with that move, we're able to easily slash through our rival's team. Up in the Lost Tower, we end up killing Marowak once again. Time to go save Mr. Fuji. We just end up slashing our way through all these rocket grunts as they run away, and Mr. Fuji thanks us and gives us the Pokeflute in return. Now it's time to catch 30 Pokemon so we could actually get leftovers. While we're in the Safari Zone, we go ahead and pick up the Golden Teeth and also the TM for Double Team. This will be useful later. We also pick up Surf while we're here. In case you guys don't know, leftovers restores 1/16 of your max HP, making this one of the best held items in the entire game. After catching 30 Pokemon, you get the item finder, and it's always under Snorlax. Next, I decide to go to Sylco. To win this battle, we have to get extremely lucky, and in this run, we finally do. We get a crit on Pidgeot, a crit on Gyarados, and a crit on Charizard, which is absolutely insane. Execute does get a little annoying here as it does paralyze us, and we are fully paralyzed and confused at the same time, but eventually we do end up taking it out. Next up, this is Alakazam, who can do a lot of damage, but instead of going for damaging moves, he goes for Calm Mind and Future Sight, and we just end up taking it out with a couple slashes. We then pick up the Lapras and name it HM Gill because it's like a fish thing, and fish have gills, right? Anyway, next up is Giovanni. This battle with Giovanni took way too long. He has 2 poison point Pokemon who on contact give a 30% chance of getting poisoned, and I always got poisoned. Eventually we end up getting crits on his poison point Pokemon, and luckily we actually don't get poisoned. Those 2 threats are out of the way, but Kangaskhan is another huge threat. We end up getting a crit with Slash here as it does massive damage with Mega Punch. Last up is Rhyhorn. Rhyhorn of course has really good physical defense, so we end up going for Bite. Luckily we get the flinch right there and use Bite once again. We get another flinch and finish off Rhyhorn. I love Bite so much. Finally, with Giovanni out of the way, we're able to pick up our illegal Master Ball and head to Sabrina. I honestly didn't think we'd have a problem with Sabrina due to almost all of her Pokemon having really low physical defense, and I was right. Kadabra and Mr. Mime both go down to 1 slash. Venomoth barely hangs on as Sabrina uses Hyper Potions to try to save Venomoth. After using a couple Hyper Potions, she realizes that Venomoth is a lost cause and goes down. Alakazam is up next at level 43 and goes down to 1 slash. We actually beat Sabrina before we beat Koga on this run, so next up is Koga. In order to beat Koga, we had to get extremely lucky. We're all the way at level 60 now, but if we got poisoned or toxic, we have the reset. Eventually, we are able to take out his 2 Coughings and his Muck without getting poisoned. Weezing gets sent out and immediately goes for toxic. We get Weezing into the red, but of course Koga uses a Hyper Potion as we bring him right back down with a critical slash. Now, I thought one more was going to be enough to take out Weezing, but unfortunately, since I did get smoke screened, we actually end up missing Slash and we get hit with another Sludge, doing a lot of damage. If we end up missing Slash again, we're definitely gonna lose. But luckily for this turn, we actually end up connecting and taking out Weezing, getting the Soul Badge from Koga. Now that Koga's out of the way, next up is Blaine. We pick up the key in the mansion and then head to Blaine's gym. We're all the way at level 66, and at this level, we just can't beat Blaine. Arcanine and Growlithe both have Intimidate, which lowers our attack by 1 stage each. That's already bad enough, but every single time Arcanine lands a Fire Blast, it does a ton of damage and almost takes us out in 1 hit. After grinding in the Pokemon Mansion, we come back at level 69. Thanks, chat. And eventually, we did get a super lucky run. Growlithe goes down with 1 slash, and Ponyta eventually goes down to 2. We get a critical hit on Rapidash, which is absolutely crucial for this to happen. Finally, after about 100 attempts, Arcanine misses his Fire Blast after we use Screech. Since we use Screech, it negates the -2 attack we have, and we're able to 2-shot Arcanine. That battle took way too long, but next up is Giovanni once again. I wonder how we're going to deal with this Poison Point Pokemon. Once again, to beat Giovanni, we needed a lot of luck. If we got poisoned, we had to reset. There was just no way around that. After getting hit with a Scary Face, we take out Rhydon and get a critical hit on his Nidoqueen and Nidoking. This is why Slash is such a good move. Since we got hit with Scary Face by Rhyhorn at the very beginning of this battle, Dugtrio actually outspeeds us, doing a little bit of damage with Earthquake. Since Meowth is at level 71 and has a huge level advantage, we're able to one-shot Dugtrio without it being a crit. Giovanni's last Pokemon is a level 50 Rhyhorn. We just end up using Bite here as Bite ends up doing a lot of damage, almost half. For some stupid reason, Rhyhorn ends up going for Scary Face instead of of an attacking move for 2 turns, giving us an opportunity to whittle down his HP little by little. His Earthquake ends up doing a lot of damage. Unfortunately, he gets healed up with a Hyper Potion, but we get another crit with Slash, as he does heal him up with a Hyper Potion once again. We end up hitting him with Slash and finish him off with one more bite. That was a pretty close battle, but the 8th and final gym leader's done. Right before Victory Road, we have to take on our rival once again. Our rival's first Pokemon is a level 47 Pidgeot, who ends up going down to a couple slashes. Rhyhorn's out next and gets taken out with a couple of bites, and Execute gets taken out with one critical bite. Alakazam barely manages to hang on as we take it out with one more bite, and next up is Gyarados. He sets up a Rain Dance to presumably boost his Hydro Pump, but never actually ends up hitting it. We finish off Gyarados with one more slash. Next up is Charizard, his strongest Pokemon. For some reason, once again, this AI is stupid. We end up going for Screech, which lowers his defense by 2 stages, but he ends up going for Scary Face and misses. I guess he just wanted to be faster, because as soon as he hit the Scary Face, he goes for Flamethrower, but by then it's too late. We take him out with one more slash. Now that our rival's out of the way, next up is Victory Road, and after that is the Elite Four. I finally managed to find my way out of Victory Road, but just because I find my way out of Victory Road does not mean I'm ready for the Elite Four. I have to grind a ton before I'm ready for this. I grind all the way up to level 83, and we also have 4 rare candies that we also use on Meowth, bringing our final level to level 87. I know with some luck, this run is definitely doable at this level. First up is Lorelei. Lorelei leads off with a level 52 Dugong, who goes down in only 2 slashes. Next up is Cloyster. Cloyster has a ton of physical defense, so we just end up using a combination of bite and slash. It gets really annoying since Lorelei keeps healing up Cloyster, but eventually we do finish it off. Next up is Slowbro at level 52, who takes a lot of damage from bite. He then uses Amnesia, raising his special defense, so we just end up going for slash. Next up is Lapras at level 54, who ends up hitting us with a Confuse Ray. We managed to break through Confusion enough times and take out Lapras with only 3 slashes. Next out is Jinx, but we instantly take it out with a critical slash, beating Lorelei. Next up is Bruno. Bruno has Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, and Machamp. We definitely have to be careful with those 3. Over the course of many attempts, Bruno has an awful habit of switching out his Pokemon when they have very low HP. Eventually, I'm able to predict this and get a hit on Machamp. One more is enough to take it out, and that's the biggest threat out of the way. Hitmonchan misses its attack, and we're able to one-shot Hitmonlee, only leaving 2 Onyxes left. His first Onyx is the one we almost knocked out from earlier. He instantly heals it back up, but only a few more bites is enough to take it out. His next Onyx is level 54 and has the same exact fate as the first Onyx. He ends up hitting us with an Earthquake, but doesn't do that much damage at all. I use Bite once again, and luckily it gets a flinch. I love Bite for that reason and that reason alone, and that's why it's still on his learn set. With Bruno out of the way, next up is Agatha. Once again, Bite is gonna definitely come in handy in this battle. It's super effective against almost all of her Pokemon. Gengar goes down to 2 bites, and Golbat goes down to 2 slashes. Next up is Arbok, and its Intimidate really did hurt, but eventually we found a way past it. We just used Screech and Slash. With that combination and a little bit of luck of not getting poisoned, we finally take out Arbok. Now we don't really have that much HP here, but Bite pulls through once again as we get the flinch on Gengar. And if that's not crazy enough, Haunter also misses its Hypnosis, giving us another turn to use Bite, taking it out, and finally beating Agatha. Agatha is definitely the person I've had the most issues with out of all of my runs. Next up is the Elite Four member Drake. This one's definitely going to be tough. It's time to use a Max Ether. We have to use this on Slash because at this point we're completely out of Slash PP. Time after time, Aerodactyl put a stop to Meowth 2. There was just nothing we could do. Even if we got a crit, we would still have to get past Dragonite, and Dragonite would always take us out. It's time for Double Team. And if we really got desperate, Meowth is a female, so we're able to teach it Attract if we want to. I think we're lucky enough at this point to get by with just Double Team though. I go ahead and replace Fake Out. We can only use it in the first turn of every battle, and it's the move we use the least. Lance leads off with a Gyarados at level 56, who can do some damage to us, but the only good move it really has against us is Dragon Rage. I use this opportunity to set up all of our double teams so we have max evasiveness and hopefully get us through the rest of this battle. I accidentally tried to set up 7 double teams here instead of 6 because I lost count, but I ended up using Screech on Gyarados and using Slash, and it ends up taking it out in only 2 hits. Next up is Aerodactyl at level 58. We end up going for Screech, so our Slash does a lot of damage, but Aerodactyl manages to connect with the Scary Face as Blaine heals it up with a full restore. We eventually get Aerodactyl back down and finish it off with one more Slash. Next up is Dragonite, who sets up a safeguard and hits us with an Outrage, doing a ton of damage. Fortunately for us, Dragonite ends up missing the rest of his attacks, and we're able to finish it off with another Slash. Next up is Dragonair, who goes down to a couple slashes, and the same thing happens to his next Dragonair. That was actually my first attempt with Double Team, and it couldn't have gone any better. Next up is the champion. Let me know down in the comments below if you think we could do it or not. We used the last PP restoring item we have, and now it's on to the champion. Our number 1 priority in this battle is getting our Double Team set up. Unfortunately, we don't have the opportunity with Pidgeot using Feather Dance, and Alakazam could also do a ton of damage to us. Executor is our first opportunity to actually get this set up. He does end up putting us to sleep a few times, but overall we did get all of our double teams set up, and once we have all of our double teams set up, we're able to use Slash. Slash ends up doing just under half, so he ends up getting healed up, and we instantly put his HP right back down and take him out. Next up is his extremely strong Rhyhorn at level 59. I end up going for Bite because I really don't want to deal with his physical defense, and I don't want to use Screech because I'm not sure that's going to help much. Unfortunately for us, Rhyhorn ends up getting a Scary Face off, lowering our speed, and also gets healed up with a full restore. It takes forever, but right before we take Rhyhorn out, he ends up hitting us with another Scary Face, lowering our speed even more. I know that we're slower than his Charizard now thanks to this, but I still think we could pull through. What only makes things worse is next up is Gyarados at level 61 who hits us with Intimidate, lowering our attack. We end up going for Screech here because I really don't want to deal with the attack loss. He ends up hitting us with only one Dragon Rage, doing less than 40 damage thanks to leftovers, as we're able to hit him with a Slash doing more than half of his HP. One more Slash is enough to take Gyarados out, and next up is Charizard. I know one Fire Blast from this guy could definitely take us out. I end up going for Screech here, and it misses of course, and Charizard isn't stupid and goes for Aerial Ace instead. It really doesn't look like we're going to win this battle. Since we have 6 double teams set up, I have no idea why Charizard went for Fire Blast here, but I'm definitely not complaining as we hit him with Slash doing a ton of damage. I don't want to knock Charizard in the full restore range, so luckily he misses his next Fire Blast as I hit him with a Bite, putting him just under half HP. And just like that, we use Slash and finally beat Charizard, defeating the champion and becoming the Pokemon League champion with only a Meowth. Make sure if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like below, and if you didn't enjoy the video, leave a like for Meowth because Meowth worked hard to do this. But seriously guys, Professor Oak once again comes over here and tells us that we left with Bulbasaur. Can I get a hashtag respect for Meowth in the comments below? But seriously guys, like always, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up, and if you did not for some reason, leave a thumbs down and comment below what I could do better for next time. I'm also doing one challenge video a week guys, so if you want to see anything in particular, leave a comment below and I will make sure to read each and every one of them. Like always guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Peace out guys.